Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We've been calling these conversations intelligent conversations for a couple of years now. We have a new sponsor here at Weis Markets, and at some point, Rob Santoni is going to get me a Weis Market shirt. But a shout out to Liberty Pure. They do a great job, too. All of our sponsors are wonderful, including our friends at Pizza John's, where I'm going to be drinking a little bit of water here because I'm going to give our friends at Weis Markets a chance to talk about one. And when I put the Weis conversations together, it was like we can talk about all sorts of things, but I've been talking about pets around here for a long time. My wife wanted a cat so badly the first decade of our marriage, and we've traveled a lot, didn't go places, but we went out to be more humane almost 10 years ago now and adopted our first cat, changed our life, changed everything, was there for my wife's battles and all that stuff. And our friends at Weis Markets have put together a Paws for Pets program, and I want to give Julianne Jones a chance to talk about all things pets. This is a full campaign the whole month of May. It's an annual campaign for me because my cat wakes up in the middle of the night. She wants food. Hopefully I can coax her onto the set. Julianne Jones joins us now from Weis Markets. She's you're the pet lover. My wife's bringing her in. So here we go. So you're the pet lover in this whole thing. If I can get her down on my lap, maybe she'll hang out. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
I'm good. How are you?
Well, better than my cat's doing right now. I told you she was going to be probably not so interested as she pulls my headset off. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, let's talk about pets. I just tried to bring mine in. It's my voice. She loves me when I'm not on the radio, I promise you. But you've loved pets and Weis supports this program from the very beginning. I want to give you a little chance to talk about what's happening in May with Weis with pets.
So May is actually National Pet Month. So this is our annual program we've run this is our 13th year of it. So it's a company-wide initiative focused on raising the funds and awareness for the local animal shelters in our market area. So since the beginning of the program, we've raised more than $2.5 million.
Well, for animals, and I've been out to shelters and, no-kill shelters and places where there's just so much love for these animals, right? I mean, just period. And I think for everyone, when I'm in Weis, I go into the pet aisle. We need litter. I actually ordered litter when I ordered Weis to go 2 weeks ago because we were I don't have to carry it through the aisles. It's heavy,
yeah, exactly.
But the love of pets comes naturally for you. You're in the office today. Had I known better, I would have coached you into doing this from home because you would have been overrun by your animals. Mine will run from me. Apparently, yours wouldn't let you do the segment, huh?
They wouldn't have. So with a lot of people walking by. Now, it's a dreary day up here, so might have been okay. But any sort of noise they hear, a new voice, I have 4 dogs.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a 7-year-old German Shepherd, a 5-year-old Great Pyrenees, a 3-year-old Bernese Mountain Dog, and a 2-year-old.
Whoa! These are big dogs. You don't have dogs. You have like horses.
And then I have a 2-year-old Newfoundland Saint Bernard mix. So he's the tallest. He's a small horse.
So the Shepherd's like the smallest, right?
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Like the Shepherd's like a poodle next to these dogs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you must be one that watches like the Westminster Dog Show and like Best in Show. You've seen Best in Show, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's always great seeing like the breeds that we have in there and just how differently behaved they are on there versus like my dogs as they're running around the house crazy. And they're, trotting around the arena. So
professional training's different, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my son just adopted last week a cat. He lost his cat a couple of weeks ago, 17 years. I mean, I lost my mom and I lost my cat 4 years ago within a month of each other. And no disrespect to my mom, I live with my cat. I cuddle with my cat. My cat was sudden. My mom was 98 years old. We were more prepared. I don't think I was ever prepared for that. But then you find love all over again. My son and his wife adopted last week. I'm probably they probably don't want me to tell that story, but since I'm doing Weis Paws for Pets, I'm going to tell that story. And they've been sending pictures over and they don't have children. I don't think they want children, but so this is their child, right? Like literally when you have pets, and I don't want to say I didn't understand that as a child, or because I had dogs. I had an English Springer Spaniel. I had a Shepherd. We had cats as a child. I had a rabbit at one point as a child, guinea pigs on the block, all of that for pets. But I went that period in my life, that selfish period in my 20s and 30s, where there was travel and all those type of things. But the love of an animal, and for companies and for people, and I think I see this. Every company wants to attach to dogs and cats and saving, because every company has people that love them inside, people like you that go home and it's as big a part of your life as any sibling, as any loved one. Tell us about what's going on this month and how our audience, and our audience makes wise choices. I'll assure you. I run into my audience when I'm in the Weis stores out in the suburbs for sure, and over in Dundalk over on Weis Avenue the other day as well. Tell us what's going on. Why you have a Weis on Weis Avenue? I never thought about that. It's spelled differently. It's WISC, but you have a Weis on Weis Avenue. So I just wanted to point that out. Tell us about the Paws for Pets program.
So customers can go into any of our stores, and they can donate either 1, 3, 5, 10, or they can round up their order to the nearest dollar at checkout. Or they can go online at wisemarkets.com/pawsforpets. And then this year we usually host adopt-a-thons and with the shelters, but unfortunately with COVID and everything, we still want to keep everything safe. So this year we're actually partnering with a few of our retail partners, pet product wise, that if you purchase a participating product for your own pet, such as, the food, the litter, the treats, everything, they will match your roundup donation at the registers.
Well, the Roundup program is beautiful because it's easy to do. And I know for Weis, you're always doing it for great causes. It's different causes. Paws for Pets is the annual campaign for raising funds and awareness in local shelters. And I was going to pull Chris Pica's wife, Kate, in. I've had Kate on before. Kate works out at Be More Humane out on Nicodemus Road. We've now adopted twice from our friends at Be More Humane. And the adopt-a-thons are wonderful things. A couple of years ago, after my wife survived the second time, they had an adopt-a-thon, a dog fest out at Be More Humane. And they wanted me to come out and be a part of like the emceeing and all that. And I said, it's a football weekend. The Ravens are playing in Cleveland. I couldn't go. And they're like, well, send your wife out. And my wife loves animals even more than I do. So my wife was part of like, the celebrity, microphone-a-thon and all that. So she loved it, spent the day out there. And when people bring their pets together, I think we see that. I live in the city. This is really where I live, Julianne. So like out my window, we walk through the little park that's right below here, and people have their dogs 5 o'clock, 5:30 every day. We see people like you out walking their horses.
Yeah.
we have them. And I'm thinking, where do you live with that big dog in the city? And these dogs are so happy and up and down the walkway at night that, I don't know. I love animals. I talk to them all. My wife says, why do you call them all buddy? And I'm like, because I don't know their name, Julianne Jones is here. She is from Weis. Paws for Pets is alive and well here for the month of May. All right. So do you have any cats or no? Because I brought my cat in here and she's reluctant.
I do have a cat. I have one cat. She's a little on the heavier side. So we
you eating the dog food?
No, she actually lives in our basement. But she has free access up to the house. She's pretty smart to stay in the basement with the 4 dogs. So, but they're all nice to her when she does come up. Every once in a while, we'll come home and she'll be up by their water bowls and stuff. So, but yeah, she lives the life downstairs. She has everything she needs. So many treats, so many toys, blankets, beds,
You got to play with them, man. You got to burn that energy off. You do, man. They're nocturnal. They are. I'm nocturnal, so it helps me when she wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I would say this on the dog and cat thing, though, for people that love animals, everybody wants to contribute, right? Like if you have an animal, and I would say this, for all the sludge I see out on social media, awful things that get shared, the best things are people like you when your cat's riding one of your Bernese mountain dogs and playing. Like I've seen cats on the back of chickens, on the back of dogs, friends between animals. Animals are great like that. They really are.
They really are.
Do you take any good videos?
My life without one of
Does your cat play with your dogs or no?
She is she's very selective as to, she'll play for a few minutes and then she's like, nope, I'm done. Like,
I'm always worried about that. Like when my wife and I'll go into like a pet store and she'll like be like, well, Nala needs a brother, Nala needs a sister. And I'm like, Nala's going to be really unhappy if you bring that other creature home, like, so I'm really worried. And I know we could adopt another. We have enough love for 2 cats. We almost adopted 2 last time. We were close to doing that. We wound up with Nala, very happy. But there have been points where we thought, well, when we go away, she'd have a sister or a brother to play with. At some point, I'm going to open my arms and my heart to that when we move out of this condo and into another place to maybe having a second animal. But I'm always wondering, like, which dog came first? How do they get along? How do you know when they're sniffing each other, they're not going to eat each other on the street? It tenses me up sometimes when I see 2 dogs on the street,
Yeah, me too. And like when we've gotten them in their all different stages of like their life. So I mean, just socialization of the dogs and everything. So just, if you can get them out as puppies and get them out as much as possible, seeing different people and everything like that. So
I want to meet your dogs, man. They're huge. I had no idea you had such big dogs. I knew you told me you had a couple dogs. I'm like, my goodness. So the bigger breeds, like, is there anything that you would say about having a bigger breed of a dog? They don't live as long, which is heartbreaking, right? Like literally.
I know that's the big downfall to them. But I mean, they think they're still puppies. They like, you try to get on your lap and like, buddy, you're 120 pounds. Like, you're not a lap dog. But they're great. With the mountain dog breeds, they're usually more mild tempered, and our Great Pyrenees, she just likes to lay around and sleep most of the day. So she's pretty easy to take care of in that sense.
Well, you know what? My cousin, my favorite cousin in the whole world, out in San Diego, Tommy, had these giant dogs. He always had these beautiful. I want to pull this picture up because I love him so much. But he lost this dog a number of years ago. But Wilson, this was Wilson, and you could see the little dog on top of the back of the big dog. So like I've had an affinity for these big, beautiful dogs since I visited with my cousin out in San Diego about a decade ago. So when I hear you talking about big dogs, I think about the day at the beach with that big guy and how happy he was. Julianne is here. She is Julianne Jones. She's from Weis. This month is Paws for Pets, so we're talking about love of animals. If I could get my cat in here just to sit, at some point, I swear, she'll just shock me and walk across the screen one day like other people do. I had somebody apologize for that last week. They're like, hey, my cat's in the middle of my shot. I'm like, no, it's beautiful. Let the cat walk through, man. That means the cat's comfortable with the conversation. It's all good. So make sure you're rounded up. Make sure you're giving $1, $3, $5. Give till it hurts all month long with our friends at Weis. The cost associated with the care that these animal shelters and rescue organizations face can be high. We all know that. I'm going to bring Kate Pike on to talk about how they stay in business out there and keep these beautiful animals. So we go in there and rescue them. As you know, they call it rescuing. Julianne, they rescue us. You know that, right?
Exactly. Yeah, they do. I mean, the love of an animal, nothing beats that. So.
Well, I'm glad that you stopped by. I'm glad we talked some dogs. And I hope next time we do this, you Zoom from home and you get these. I can't believe you didn't do this segment from home. We should do it again next week because I want to meet your dogs. How about that?
Okay, we can.
Appreciate you. Julianne Jones joining us here from Weis Markets. The intelligent conversations have become wise conversations, and we're doing that all around town. We're doing this crab cake tour with the Weis signature crab cake. I promise before the summer is over, we're going to do 30 crab cakes in 30 days in the month of August, starting in Ocean City, working our way out to Western Maryland. I'm putting a tour together now. If you have a crab cake recommendation along Maryland's highways or byways, make sure you email me, ness@baltimorepositive.com. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570. Super appreciation to our friends at Weis Markets. The intelligent conversations has now become wise conversations at BaltimorePositive.com.